welcome to Coastal Living. Now, we love to talk health and wellness on Wednesdays. And with that said, can we talk about the wellness in your wallet? Yeah, we'll discuss getting financially fit. Plus, we've got the doctors in the house as well. And life is all about balance, and everyone deserves a nice, delicious, wholesome meal. Why not head out to Port Aransas Restaurant Week and enjoy a little bit of that coastal cuisine? We've got all the details for you on that and so much more. So thanks for joining us. You're watching Coastal Living.
If your New Year's resolution is to get your finances in better shape, it's going to take a little sweat.
It's a little like working out physically in the gym. You're working out for your finances, so they are in better shape for the activities that you'll be prioritizing and targeting in the future.
Much like staring down the treadmill, overcoming financial hurdles may seem daunting, but Bankrate's Mark Hamrick says it's important to figure out where you are and create a roadmap to get to where you want to go.
Have a budget to know how much money we have to work with. If we need to reduce our expenditures and perhaps get rid of some things that we're paying for that we don't need, we need to do that.
The best way to get started, attacking your debt, typically in one of two ways.
Some people like to attack the highest cost debt. Let's say if we have an annual percentage rate of 25% and that's the highest, some people might prefer to attack that first to pay that down and off. Others might say, oh, well, I've got just a couple $100 on this credit card. Let's pay that off right away.
Next, pull back spending by cutting out expenditures you may deem unnecessary, like auto-pay subscription services and meal deliveries. And then focus on saving.
Have a separate account for your savings and then automate the deposits that are going in there with direct deposit. Have it come straight out of your paycheck.
And don't forget about retirement. Putting away a little now can leave you in great financial shape in the future. In Atlanta, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
When it comes to insurance, we can select anyone, literally across the country. As much as we know we can select an agent from anywhere, it's important to choose the right agent for us and someone who has our best interest in mind, and that seems to be getting harder and harder to find. So it's great to have you here. Talk to me a little bit about the services that you offer first.
All right, good morning. Great. Thank you for having me. After we've done a great fact finding and gathered the information on what we can do to strengthen the client safety net, we then, put them through our process, which is, again, just understanding everything that they have. And once we do that, then we can make the recommendations to, put products in place. And then it's not just that, it's the relationship after the sale. So, we're in constant contact with our clients. Happy birthday, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, you name it, we're always really trying to stay in front of the client because in our research, we found that, their beneficiaries or their family members, extended family members, whoever, they're also, a part of that client. So it's important for us to send a card to say, hey, congratulations on your grandchild or graduating a child or, just somebody who's into the world. Obviously, in insurance, yeah, people pass, right? So we're there as well.
Speaking of which, you do have sort of a little testimony to share with us in one particular situation where this affected somebody's life.
Yeah, recently I had a client who worked for the federal government, took an assignment overseas. Her husband stayed back. He passed. And I can tell you the support we lended from beginning to end with the processing of the claim. Obviously, this is a life case, but I mean we've made sure that we were there from beginning to end, and being oceans apart, you can imagine the burden. But we were able to fill the void, make sure all the death claims were processed and into the company. And as I understand it, she did have a good farewell, with her husband.
Great. And when you're in that position, the last thing you want to worry about is all the numbers and all the behind the scenes, which is why you want to have someone you can count on. So before we go, what advice do you have for anybody who may be reluctant to trust an advisor?
I would say do the research. Google has become the main source for information out there. we here at McGowan Insurance Pros, we may not have what a client needs. We are able to recommend different other agencies that we've done business with in the past, but we just look at it like, hey, if you want somebody that's going to be there from beginning to end, when life hits you or you lose some money out of your 401k, you don't know what to do, be there.
Absolutely. Well, it's such a pleasure talking with you today. For anybody who's interested in more information or getting in touch about your services, where do we go?
Sure. Just head over to myinsuranceprofessional.com and you can go on, peruse our site. We have podcasts where we are, talking about different elements of insurance. We also have where you can request a free consultation, for us to lift that hood for the individual to see how their engine is running, if you will. And then you can always give us a call at 478-268-5003.
Fantastic. Well, it's such a pleasure meeting you today. And everything that you said is just a great affirmation, I guess, to understand where your intentions are and that it truly is about the customer and their experience and, of course, their best interest. So thank you so much for your time today.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Have a great one.
You too. The doctor is in the house here at South Texas Brain and Spine Center. I'm here with Dr. Alexander, and today we're discussing brain trauma. Now, trauma can happen in your brain with things like cancer, stroke, a brain aneurysm, and according to you, our brain doesn't have any nerve endings, any pain receptors, right?
Correct.
So we don't have the ability to feel those types of things, but what you would feel is the repercussions of an accident or a fall or something like that. So let's talk about what happens in the case of an emergency where there's big trauma to the brain.
So nowadays, most patients, if you're in a car accident, you're wearing a seatbelt, the incidence of brain trauma is a lot less, but there is, neurosurgeons get involved if there's anything that's abnormal on a CAT scan or abnormal on the patient's examination. So our goal for neurosurgery is to maximize their recovery. So depending on how patients present, if they are in a coma, we call it a Glasgow coma scale, how we measure someone. We're at 15 right now, the lowest you go is a 3, and there's mild, moderate, severe head trauma.
Okay.
And so patients who have severe head trauma, we will actually put a monitor in the brain and monitor the brain pressures. And we can give medications to decrease the swelling. We can treat things. If there's an expanding blood clot called an epidural or subdural hematoma, then we actually remove the piece of the skull, take out the hematoma, put the skull back on. Sometimes if it's severe, recently I had a guy who was car surfing and hit the back of his head. We had to remove the part of the skull, put it in the belly, and remove part of the brain that's non-vital. The brain is not very forgiving, but sometimes, like in a stroke, patients recover over time. And the younger you are, the more your brain can recover over time.
Okay, and real quick for my viewers at home, because this threw me off, let's backtrack to the skull in your stomach. That is to preserve the skull so that it's ready when it's time to put it back on?
Yeah, so if you think of the brain, it's contained by the skull. So the skull protects the brain, but it's also a fixed container. So there's 3 things that are within the fixed container. There's the brain, there's spinal fluid that your brain makes, and the blood vessels. So if you have an increase in one, it's going to cause pressure or decrease in the other 2 variables. So if you remove the piece of the skull, you're exposing it to the air, then it's going to give you the best decreased amount of pressure on the brain. It's amazing how the technology we have nowadays, and also we get imaging and we follow patients very closely. We can put a monitor in the brain, so a little electrode or even a catheter. We can drain the spinal fluid, we can monitor the pressure, so then we can actually treat what you call intracranial ICP, so we can decrease that and increase the brain perfusion. That's the goal, is to preserve as much as we can the good brain, and then if we have to go there and do surgery, we can, but we'd really try to avoid surgery if we can. We can hopefully treat medically. So there's medications like mannitol or 3% sodium that decreases the brain swelling. We can also hyperventilate patients, which decreases the carbon dioxide level, that also decreases the brain pressure.
Interesting. Gosh, there's so many semantics, so many details to this, and of course that's why we hope that a professional like Dr. Alexander and the team here at South Texas Brain and Spine hope that we're in their care if we find ourselves in this situation. But it's important, the more you know, and if you or someone you love ends up in this situation, at least you have the peace of mind knowing there are professionals in our own community that are ready, they're on standby, they're on call to do surgery if it is needed. So thank you for this information today. Don't put yourself in a situation where you need it, but if you do, get in touch with them and mention Coastal Living sent you. Thank you.
Coastal Living's Doctor in the House is paid for by South Texas Brain and Spine Center.
The iconic Restaurant Week here in Port Aransas is quickly approaching, and we're going to make sure you have all the information you need to take advantage of the great deals and the incredible coastal cuisine that will be available to you this next couple of weeks. So I'm here with Brett, and he is well versed on what you're going to find here, and maybe you can tell us some of your favorites. But give me the scoop on Restaurant Week.
You know, we started Restaurant Week 5 years ago during the height of the pandemic, really, as a way to get folks to support our local restaurants and really celebrate the coastal cuisine we have here in Port Aransas. So we had a program before that was just called Taste of Port A, but this way we're able to celebrate the more luscious taste, the more extravagant offerings that our menus have, as well as the inside of each of these restaurants that are so well appointed and coastally excellent. So,
I like your language there, yes.
I'm sure I made up a few words, but it is really, really a special time of year for us.
Yes, and it's true that you are so passionate and about the food that's available here in Port Aransas. So we know it's coming from the heart, okay? So talk to me, you've got quite a few restaurants participating. Can we list off a few?
Yeah, we've got nearly 20 restaurants participating, and we have a lunch offering at places like Mac Daddy's, which is a barbecue restaurant.
Very good food.
We have Finn's, which has some of the best fried shrimp around. And then we have places like Roosevelt's, where we're at now, as well as Cajun Flair. So you got Crazy Cajun, you got Blue Water Cowboy that does some sushi stuff. It's phenomenal.
Nice.
Castaways, you got Black Marlin. And of course, you got Seafood and Spaghetti Works, and even Beer Hut, Port A Beer Hut, Beer House. I'm sorry, Beer House.
Okay.
That has some great hamburgers and great things as well to try.
Oh, so a few different environments as well, whether you're coming for a nice kind of upscale date night, or if you just want to bring the kids and we need a space that they can be kids, we've got a little bit of everything, right?
The price points start at $25 for lunch, and they go up to $50 for dinner.
Okay.
Some of those 50 points, include a nice steak and surf and turf special along with the dessert. I mean, so you've got a lot of different offerings throughout the nearly 20 different restaurants that are participating. All the menus will be posted online, and you can come out and just have a great savory week with us.
Okay, good deal. And not just 1 week, 3. So again, you've got 3 opportunities to come out and enjoy this experience. Maybe one weekend is a date night, the next one might be with the kids, right?
Yeah, and this is the first year we extended it 3 weekends because it's so popular. People were saying, hey, you've got 20 restaurants, there's no way I can make all of them.
That's right.
So we opened it up so that we could offer it now 3 weekends, starting again in January and running through February 2nd.
Okay, maybe next year we'll add in like a punch card, and you've got to punch off that you did all the 20
I'm
restaurants,
not going to say
right?
that next year is not going to be a full month.
Okay, it should be, and then we get into the Valentine's Day thing, right?
Leads right up into it.
Okay, so do you recommend, is there a way that do we need to set a reservation for this, or how does it work if we want to map out our experience?
No, that's the beauty of a restaurant week. You don't need reservations. Just pull up a table and kind of choose the place that you want to go and experience the greatness. You can go to the website, pick out your place you want to go. There are a couple places you can do reservations. Roosevelt's does have a nice reservation system. Tortugas has a great place to do open table, as well as Black Marlin. So there are places you can if you want to make sure you get that best spot, or you're bringing a larger group and you want to make sure you've got a place to sit everybody.
Fantastic. Okay, so it seems like it's all very streamlined and organized just for your convenience. So again, starting this weekend, January 17th, all the way through February 2nd, you've got 3 chances to do that, well, plenty in between. So come on out and enjoy the coastal cuisine here in Port Aransas for the 5th Annual Restaurant Week. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're off to a great start, but don't go anywhere. When you do head out to Port Aransas for Restaurant Week, you surely want to stop by and check out some other things they have to offer. How about the Port Aransas Community Theater? A great spot with lots of entertainment. We'll give you the scoop on what to expect this year at the Port A Community Theater. We'll have that and so much more, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back on Coastal Living.
All right, hey, well, welcome to the Port Aransas Community Theater. We are so excited that we can bring you into our wonderful little venue here in Port Aransas. I'm Rick Adams. I'm the president of the All Volunteer Board. We're a nonprofit organization. We're all volunteers. So again, we really appreciate you being out here with us this morning. What you see in the background is our most recent stage production, The Odd Couple. Kind of an interesting twist. It's the female version. Neil Simon wrote a female version, so that's the set you see behind us. But we've got a lot of great stuff coming up this season. Before I forget, the website, Port Aransas Community Theater, with an R-E, theater with an R-E, .com. And then, of course, we have a pretty good Facebook presence, too. So check out what we've got going on both of those sites. We've got an exciting season. Like I said, we've got, after The Odd Couple, female version, we've got Spamalot. So the Monty Python, kind of the stage version of the Monty Python and the Holy Grail show, Spamalot, they're in rehearsals now. They've got a great cast. Be sure to come out and see them. After that, we've got another musical called The Great American Trailer Park, hilarious comedy musical that'll be here. After that, we're going to do a junior version of Beetlejuice Jr. So that'll be for the younger actors. They'll come out. Tick, Tick, Boom. After that, another great musical. Then we're going to do a couple of other musical venues yet to be announced, but keep an eye on our websites and social media. And then, of course, October, we're going to do Young Frankenstein, so another big musical. So it's a big musical year for the theater. And we're real happy to have anybody that's interested to be on stage or backstage. So like I said, we're always looking for volunteers that can help us with these wonderful sets that we build or act. If you'd like to get on stage, this is the time and the right place to come out and do it in a real friendly environment. No judgment here. A lot of our actors actually are first time when they get on stage, so we'll help you as best we can. If you're interested in the lighting and sound, we can hook you up with some good information and train you to work our lights and sound. You know, come out and check us out. We're on Highway 361, 2327. You can't miss us as you're coming into Port Aransas. Beautiful yellow building on your right as you're coming into town, blue roof, big marquee sign, Port Aransas Community Theater. Come check us out. And like I said, be sure to go to our website, portaransascommunitytheater.com, and you can catch up on all the great stuff that we have coming up now and in the future.
The Harlem Globetrotters are the world's basketball team, touring over 400 cities and 25-plus countries, known for their ball-handling wizardry, rim-rattling dunks, and side-splitting comedy. You've got a chance to win tickets to see them at American Bank Center Thursday, February 13th. Just fill out the form at coastallivingtv.com for your chance to win. I'm going to give you all a super quick and easy summer protein shake with over 60 grams of protein. This is really great for those of you who know that you're not getting your good protein intake or are skipping breakfast and you want to start the day with a lot of protein. It's one of the most important macros that your body needs. So let's start with Ratio Protein, my favorite one, and I've got 25 grams of protein in here. This is blueberry flavor. My favorite protein powder, BioWhey. This one is blueberry muffin flavor, so you can imagine these will go really, really well together. And I'm gonna triple threat this recipe with the Vital Proteins Collagen Peptides powder. This one has 18 grams of protein and collagen, so it's really, really good for you. The only other thing we're missing is a blender, some water, and I like to buy the frozen strawberries or fruit in bulk. It's frozen, so I don't even have to throw ice in the mix. So here we go. I'm going to start with a little bit of water because I don't want the protein to collect. So probably about 8 ounces of water. Looks about right. We're going to take 1 scoop of my protein, 1 serving of my collagen peptides, which in this case is 2 scoops. Gonna throw in a handful of my frozen strawberries. Yum. I'll push that down in there. There we go. And then top it off with my protein yogurt. This is easy if you're on the go, if you're like me and you're missing breakfast sometimes. Breakfast is the most important meal, and you want to make sure that you get that protein in for your daily intake. This is the whole recipe, guys. I'm going to pop my lid on here and blend away. All right, and in the time it took to make this smoothie, I was able to put away my whole mess, so my kitchen is clean again. It's Depending on how thick you want this to be, you can put more strawberries in there if you like more of that ice creamy texture. Otherwise, if you like it nice and thin, my daughter loves to share these with me. So I share with her, put it in a little container, and you have a very healthy, very high protein, strawberry flavored protein shake. So stay nice and healthy.
Interested in growing your business? Coastal Living can help. Email us at advertise@coastallivingtv.com or scan the QR code on your screen for more information.
Today on Coastal Living, we want to thank you so much for joining us, and of course thank our guests for contributing so much to the show and just expressing what a fantastic place it is to live here in South Texas. We do have a lot of history, and speaking of which, we'll be sharing a little history on the infamous Harbor Bridge with the little Coastal Bend history segment tomorrow, so we encourage you to join us. Until then, find us online at Coastal Living TV on Facebook and Instagram. Plus, you can catch all your favorite segments and full uninterrupted shows on our YouTube channel at Coastal Living TV Corpus Christi. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.